Hello, everyone. Today's video is actually going to be a very impromptu video. I'm going to be welcoming my good friend Chris Santiago. We're going to be discussing all things WrestleMania 37. Now, Chris, bro, let's start off a little bit with day one. We're a little bit behind, but let's go match by match. What were some of your highlights from day one?
Well, off the bat immediately, first off, just want to say thanks for having me on, dude. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for this. But just to start off, I mean, it's been so foreign to see like actual fans like in attendance to a wrestling event literally since the pandemic happened. So to open it up with Drew McIntyre being the first person out and getting that response that he so deserved last year, that was just that was wonderful for me as a Drew McIntyre fan because I'm a huge Drew McIntyre mark. So to see that happen for him was really, really cool. Was really dope. And I was really surprised that they had Bobby Lashley retain. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time in a while that both champions, I mean, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but that both champions retain their titles at WrestleMania. That usually doesn't happen. One of them at least loses it.
That's true.
If not both of them.
I don't remember a Mania where there hasn't at least been one title change, at least of the big titles. But like you said, man, I thought when the Hurt Business was no more, I thought
that was it.
I thought it was a given that they're going to give it back to Drew. It was going to be in the story, and then Bobby Lashley's going to go back doing like wedding storylines, and then that was going to be done for him.
We don't talk about that.
No, I'm serious. I was thinking the worst was going to happen to Bobby Lashley, and that MVP was just going to be gone. I thought it was going to be the worst.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
But what I loved about the match, though, was that it concluded, but it didn't let Drew look bad. He didn't look weak in the match. Like, yes, he lost via submission, but he didn't tap. He just KO'd.
Yeah.
So I think it leaves both guys pretty much in a good position within WWE where you have three stars now. You have Bobby, you have Roman, and you have Drew. That's something that we haven't had in WWE in a while. I think we haven't had three real lead guys. Now, the second match from night one was what was it? The women's
tag team turmoil
thing.
Tag team turmoil.
What you? Yeah. To use the proper term, the turmoil thing. But did you end up liking that match, man, or was that your exit to get some snacks or get some food or what?
No. Being in the business, I've been, I don't want to say I've been in the business because I'm just a ring announcer, but I've been working with wrestlers for enough now to, whenever I do go to shows now, I mean, obviously pandemic, but talking about beforehand, but whenever I do go to shows, I do my best to stick around for every match because I know all the preparation that goes into it. No matter how short or long it is, like I know how tough it is on the performers, and I want to give them that respect of being, knowing that they're being watched, that all their hard work's being put in. I don't like the idea of like the women's matches, especially unfortunately being used as a bathroom break or like, go get popcorn or something like that. It's, I get it, that like it sucks. And, I want to give them that respect. So my thoughts on that whole thing, it did its job. I wasn't like, holy cow impressed with it and everything, but, it had some good spots in there. And I was just mainly happy that someone like Tamina, who's been in the business forever and hasn't really ever had that sort of like moments, had her like WrestleMania win moments. And that was nice to see. And plus, I've been a fan of Natalia's for a while, and she's just such a workhorse. And so, I think the right team won, aside from maybe the Riot Squad. I think they could have been a much more of a sell for the tag team championship match. But, for Tamina and Natalya to have their moment, I was like, you know what, that's good. I can appreciate that.
And that's true on Natalya's end, because I think Natalya is one of the only, at least of the women division, that are left where she started when it was still like the Divas, and then she's still come around now to the women's revolution that we're in now. The only issue that I had with the match, is that I think it could have all been done, like the title match could have been done right there. Like a gauntlet match with, with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, Shayna Baszler.
Them as the champions going through the entire gauntlet, that would have been better than having it divided into two. I think you would have been able to highlight more of the women division that way. But
yeah,
regardless, so Natalya and Tamina, they get the win and they get their nice little WrestleMania moment together. Then we actually get this match surprised me. I was not expecting much out of Cesaro, Seth Rollins.
Really? Why not? That was actually my most anticipated match, or one of the most anticipated of the whole entire card. Like, I knew that was going to be a fun one.
Because it wasn't necessarily, do I think they're going to tear the house down? Obviously, like, they're gifted in the ring. They're going to do their job. The only thing is the setup for it. It was like, all right, the only setup was like Cesaro gave him 22 spins, really angered Seth, and now Seth kind of got a little bit of the Weekend vibe in him now with how he was dressed for the event, either the full flame tuxedo or all gold, and now he's a weird heel right now. I don't know what type of heel he is. He's no longer the Messiah, but he still kind of has like this God complex sort of, and now he's Mr. WrestleMania, and there's a lot of things there, right?
I mean, I'll tell you this. I do prefer this over face Seth any day.
Yes.
Like he's just that much better at being that weasel heel. Like 2014 Authority, 2015 Authority, Seth Rollins like killed it. I don't know if he'll ever reach that again, just because of the nature of the business and just how much things have changed since that. So, but I much rather him as this heel than a babyface any day. Because as a babyface, you just can't buy into him being like the cool guy. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, yeah, he's just much better as a heel. He's better at giving off that I can make you hate me persona. Like that whole snotty, like how you said, he has that God complex still. So he has that nose in the air still, and he's like saying, like, ha ha ha, I'm better than you. You're a loser. Ha ha. I'll take that happily any day of the week because I can still get a good laugh and a good enjoyment out of that part.
Exactly. Like he fits better as a heel. Like he always works better as a heel. In the ring, the dude can do it all. He can. And then Cesaro, it's funny because Cesaro has been around. Has he been around longer than Seth?
Yeah. Cesaro came into the main roster, God, I want to say 2011 or 2012. So it's been about 10 years for him, at least 10 years. There was no way he came after that because I remember when he debuted as Antonio Cesaro and he had it right. You remember his first name?
Wow, I completely forgot it. He started as Antonio Cesaro. Wow.
Antonio Cesaro was his debut name, and then they've been doing a whole thing where they cut the names, in half. I get it. It's to save time, and also it's to save, like printing, and it's just better for like ring announcer. Like speaking as ring announcer, I can understand that as a bit, but even I'd be like, no, I'd rather say Antonio Cesaro than just Cesaro. Like I feel like it has more oomph, but that's aside the point. No, he's been around for a long time. Much longer. Well, I don't want to say much longer because Seth and the Shield debuted on the main roster back in like 2013. Okay. So he has a couple of years extra on him, basically.
And the thing is with Cesaro, he's been around for as long as he's been around, but he's never really had a singles run. He's never really been in the front of the line, right, so to speak. And I think part of it is because on the mic, he's not that great. In the ring, there's very few that are as good as Cesaro. But his mic skills kind of lack a little bit. But to have him have that moment, I know on paper he got the 23 spins in. The 23rd spin wasn't completely full, but still, man, 22 and a half spins.
I mean, just think about it. And the fact that he did like 5 of them, like maybe 4 to 5 minutes prior. Mm-hmm. So imagine just doing that again and just being so like, I was watching my brother yesterday and I was just like, man, like, can you imagine how much it sucks to have to go from that spot and you're being so dizzy, and especially for like Seth, who has to let his body like dangle as he flies around, and like to take another spot after that and like the finish, like my God, like I would be so delirious. So you have to give props to both of them for handling it like champs. Like that's awesome.
And one of the things that I think it happens in every WrestleMania, and it does fit into him calling himself the new Mr. WrestleMania. Look, man, when he goes for that stomp, every time you can either counter it or it comes off clean, but the counters are always very creative.
Yeah.
This one doesn't surpass the Randy Orton one. The Randy Orton counter is still the best counter.
That was one of the wildest things ever, and that pop from the crowd when he hit it was absolutely insane.
Randy popped out. Like,
yeah, of course, because he's like, I did it. I freaking did it. We did it. We pulled it off.
You get me? And then to see Cesaro be able to get the uppercut in that. It was clean, and to see him have that moment, and you saw how much the fans loved it. The fans were happy for Cesaro, and that's similar to what you're saying with Natalia. Just kind of seeing them have like their moment, so to speak. All right, now I'm very curious about your opinion on this one because I'm looking at the list here. AJ Styles almost against the New Day.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now, I am extremely biased. AJ Styles is my favorite wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of all, I mean, I won't say of all time because of all time is The Rock. But like, I don't know, AJ is like surpassing that. I have been a giant AJ Styles mark since 2008 when I started watching TNA Impact.
Mm.
Like, remember those days on like Spike TV when they would come on on Thursday nights at 9? I was set and ready.
I remember TNA when they were on FSN. Okay, when they were on FSN and it was like Jeff Hardy kind of popped up for like
Jeff Hardy, Christian Cage, Samoa Joe, Sting, Jeff Jarrett,
Monty Brown, who I still.
Oh wow! Well, hold on, even more of a throwback. Ron Killings, aka R-Truth.
Of course. Yeah.
Way back. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, we're digressing.
that's the. I mean, like I'm just a giant TNA mark, and I'm still an Impact Wrestling mark. But
for a completely other day. But the thing that surprised me about this match, because again, AJ Styles is going to kill it, Kofi's going to kill it, the New Day's going to kill it. But how do you pronounce this guy's name?
Omos.
The whole time he's been it's very similar to Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels from back in the day. Very similar vibes.
Diesel.
I'm getting very similar vibes. And I'm thinking, but I'm like, I haven't seen this guy move. Like, I haven't seen him move. He's imposing, but I haven't seen him move. Let me tell you, from what we saw last night to what we saw tonight with, oh my God, the guy from Raw Underground.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't remember his name either. Unfortunately, and like, you know, I'm sure he's a great guy and whatnot, and I'm sure he's a very talented performer. Yeah. But like, nobody's ever had like that much exposure to him to like remember his name.
But this guy, he had a much bigger impact. Like, he looks menacing. Like, some of his moves, the backbreaker, I don't know if that's going to be his finisher or something.
No, that power bomb. You kidding me? That power bomb he gave to Kofi to get the win, that was the finisher.
For me, what I liked most was like the where he had him across his knee, his hand on his face. And the rest is just like,
it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Big. And you can actually see like the bend. You get me? So I'm looking, I'm like, if that's this guy's finisher, I'm all for it. Like this guy. And you know at some point you're gonna get AJ Styles versus him. And that
I hope no, I actually hope not, because I feel like that would just be kind of like a weird twist / no pun intended backstab to what they've been leading them up to be. Which is because it's the ironic, like, just like differential in stature. You got AJ Styles, a guy that's probably 6'1" max, maybe 215 pounds. You know, even like build, he's like 225. So I imagine he's actually like 200, 205, like in real life. Then you got this giant guy who's 7'3", and he's probably actually that height. He's built around like he's built around 370 pounds. Maybe he's like 320, 350. But even then, he's a large man. And I instantly liked that pairing because, one, AJ can help bring up anybody. He's always been great at bringing up people. He did it in TNA, and he's doing it now in WWE now, especially since he's been done with his like world championship runs. Like, now it's his time to bring up people. And he's great at doing that. And he's fantastic at still making himself look like the bigger dog kind of thing. But, like, he's overcompensating because he has this giant security guard guy. Exactly. So it's like, how are you the phenomenal one, but you have this gigantic dude right behind you? Like, it's the pairing that made it work for me. And that's why I love this match so much, because I figured that New Day was going to drop the titles. You know, they didn't really need to win them again. I figured they had them win it just because they wanted to help make that match at Mania a little more meaningful than with what they had it prior. So it kind of it really favored itself. And because you can have AJ be like the what they call it, like the punching bag, like the dummy that just gets like tossed around and beat up by these two young cats. And then all of a sudden he gets that big pop when he tags in Omos. And you know, it's like, you know, finally you get to see this guy and like what he can do. And then and kudos to Kofi and Xavier, Austin Creed, for playing it off so good. Like that fear of, oh shoot, like this is actually happening now. Like, wait, we can't taunt him anymore
And then
because
that's
now he's the legal guy.
the beginning of the match where they baited AJ to come in first. Like you can tell, like, no, we know we're gonna beat you, but like, let's start with you first. You get
Yeah,
me?
it was great. It was absolutely great, and I'm glad that they let Omos like have that shine and have him be the one to do the pin because that establishes how dominant he's going to be. And just like when you just saw him just tear apart Kofi and Xavier, and then I mean that power bomb. Like I think again, that's a 7'3" dude. Imagine being lifted that high where you're above his your whole entire chest is above his head
Yeah.
and just being then just dropped like just oh my god, it was wonderful. And now AJ Styles is a Grand Slam champion. I'm just happy.
Of course you are. Of course. Now, before we continue, man, I forgot to ask you. So, what would you rate the Bobby Lashley McIntyre match out of 5?
5. I give it a solid 3.5. Solid 3.5. Solid 3.5. Maybe almost 4. Just because, again, like the atmosphere of it is what made the match. It wasn't so much the actual match itself. It was the fact that these two are finally getting in front of crowds again, and they're getting like that recognition. Like again, like dude, like Drew McIntyre and the whole Hurt Business carried the WWE, especially Monday Night Raw, through all of 2020.
Yeah.
And like it's like finally you get to have like that fan appreciation being shown back to you. So like the crowd cheering for both of them was actually really, really great. So I give it the 3.5, almost 4 stars, just because of that. Just because like it was so wholesome to finally have that again. As far as the actual match quality, maybe like a 3, maybe 3. But, again, they didn't really need to have an absolute banger of a match. Like, it's just like, it was like, we're back, we're happy, let's do this thing.
For me, I loved it. I'm not going to give it 5 out of 5, but I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. That match I was surprised it was the first opening match. I thought that could have easily closed the show. So for me, I would have given it 4 out of 5. Then what about the tag team turmoil match? What do you give it out of 5?
As an understanding fan or whatever, I'll give it like a 2.5. 2.5. As like, just like a viewer, probably like a 2.
I would give it the same.
Yeah.
And then Cesaro and Rollins.
Oh, 4.5. Easily 4.5. Like, they're just so good at technical wrestling. Like, oh, it was just so much fun to watch.
I'd give it a 4. But again, at this point, 4 matches in, and we got 2 matches between that 3 and 4 mark. We're going pretty well.
That's really good, yeah.
And then you have the AJ Styles New Day match. What do you give it?
I mean, the mark in me, 5 out of 5. Just because, oh my God, AJ Styles is Grand Slam champion. They brought in Omos as like perfectly. New Day sold it so good. 5 for I don't care. 5 out of 5 for me. I don't care. Call me a mark.
For me, 3 out of 5. I'd give it 3 out of 5. It was a good match. It was a really, really good match. Now, the next match was one that I, again, was not excited about. I thought the storyline was dumb, or how Shane O'Mac said it, stupid, just stupid. But Braun versus Shane in a steel cage, what do you think, man?
I mean, truth be told, I was never really invested in the story to begin with.
No.
I felt it was really weird. I mean, just because I don't like that they took Braun Strowman as like a main eventer and they just like dropped him kind of down. I don't like that because they were making way for Roman Reigns to come back. I understand that, but keep him in the top contenders kind of thing. I figure they just want to give him like a nice story, and in a way, this is kind of like a match for the kids where it's like bullying never wins kind of thing, and Shane McMahon was being a bully. So because ironically in school, and I mean you can probably even attest to this, some of the people that are picked on in school, like are being bullied, are like kids that are much bigger than the bully. So it's like, it kind of makes sense story-wise. I just wasn't so invested in it because I expect them to do better with Braun.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about the match, I give it like a 2.5, 3 at max, and that's me being generous about it.
To me, I'd give it a 3. Like again, I came in with very low expectations.
You liked it a lot?
I ended up liking it a lot, man. And it's just
they did a lot of great spots in there. I'll give them that. They did a lot of great spots in there, especially with Braun ripping the cage just to get him back up. I like that having shook. I was like, yo, that's something we've never seen before.
For me, every time I see Shane, I'm like, what are you gonna do? That's the fun thing about Shane McMahon matches. It's just like, what are you gonna do? I don't know what you're gonna do, but I know you're gonna do something. And he always pulls off with something crazy. That bump off the top of the cage was.
I don't care how old or young you are. That still hurts at the end of the day. And the fact that he's like 50 plus, still doing this so clean, Like he can have. Shane's shown before many times he could put on a great match still,
The match,
and like consistently.
yeah,
Consistently. I really don't think he's ever had like a bad match.
he hasn't.
Like in any match I've seen him in, especially like in his later years, like now, he's still bringing it. He still kills it.
Having better matches now than he did back then, which is a crazy thing.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, dude. Like his match with Kurt Angle.
Ooh, yeah.
Just
Yeah, that match was again, dude. That I could still hear that bump on the concrete. I could still hear that.
Well, glass didn't shatter, so there goes his neck like that. Oh, that hurts.
That was just.
He still got up and he did it.
And
then what was it? Also his big spot where he jumped off the Titantron. It was on test. It was on test.
Well, was it against Steve Blackman?
Was it against Blackman? I thought it was against Test.
Because I thought there was one where Steve Blackman hits him in the back with the Ken.
That's another one. That's another one he's done. Again, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now? No, I'm talking about the one where he climbed to the very top of the Tron and did like a what do you call it? Like a senton off of it, and he landed on Test at the bottom.
Again.
Like just like dude, like he's even more of an enigma than Jeff Hardy was. That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. All right, jumping into again another match that shocked me: Bad Bunny, Damian Priest.
Oh my God! Give this man a contract. He is the best celebrity to ever appear in WWE. Bar none, hands down. And you know why? It's because he actually has passion for it. Like he actually really loves it. So you can tell he put his full foot forward into it. I mean, like, dude, we watched Bad Bunny do a Canadian Destroyer better than a lot of people in professional wrestling who do Canadian Destroyers.
Look, I'm all for giving Bad Bunny his roses. I love the match. Shocked me. You could tell he trained for this incredibly hard. But let's also give our roses to John Morrison because that move was almost 90% his doing.
Oh no! It was probably like 95% his doing.
Dude,
him having the whereabouts to know how much more to jump back. It was flawless. Yeah, but I mean, like this is John Morrison we're talking about. This is one of the most athletic guys we've ever seen in pro wrestling.
I still like to call him Johnny Nitro though. I wish I could call him Johnny Nitro for this because he's still Johnny.
I'm still calling him Johnny Mundo from when he was in AAA, man. What are you talking about?
I just love Nitro because it was Bischoff who gave him the name Nitro. You get me? I still, for me, it's still.
Let's not get into Eric Bischoff because I will go about him for. I will sing his name forever. I love Eric Bischoff.
I'm a big fan of his. And again, in that match, I was surprised, number one, that he started off the match. Mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be again.
Damian Priest, doing doing like most of the match, probably, right? You probably thought Damian Priest was going to handle most of it.
I thought it was going to be like another Snooki type thing where like, oh, it's going to be a hot tag. Snooki's going to run to the corner, bump, pin, and that's it. Dude was in the match like 80% of the match. Like Damian Priest wasn't in it that much.
Yeah, which is good of him. Which is good of him because you figured that he'd be like, oh, I'll handle most of the match. No, I got this. Okay, cool.
So again, what would you give it out of 5?
Oh my God. I mean, it's an easy 4. It's an easy 4 without a doubt. Just me being again, how shocked at how good it was. Because the thing is, like you said, I don't think anybody had any anticipation for that match going forward. I don't think like really anybody did. And when Bad Bunny showed out, like, dude, screw it, I gotta give it a 4.5. Like that was just insane. Like just watching all that he did, and I'm just here like this is Bad Bunny. This is Bad freaking Bunny doing this all this right now, and he's killing it. And like we saw him promote his new tour that he's doing next year. Hey, dude, with Triple H, I thought he was giving the money back briefcase. I'm like, are they seriously doing this? Like, this is amazing. Please, yes, put the towel on him. I don't care. Just do it for like 5 minutes. I will pop so big.
No.
I will pop. I don't care. I will pop.
I get David Arquette flashbacks immediately when I think about it. Like, no.
Yeah, but could David Arquette successfully pull off a Canadian Destroyer? No.
Well, now he can. I think David Arquette, like, if you've seen him lately, dude, again, he's a little crazy, but he's doing some crazy stuff in
But, 4.5 just blew my mind. Blew my mind at how good it was. Kudos to Miz and Morrison for putting that match over like that. That's, like you got to give them credit as much as you give Damian Priest and Bad Bunny credit.
Like, again, it's hard for me to put myself in the position of like a WWE superstar, but like think about Miz, dude. You had the title, you had the fans rally for you when you got the title, because like it was so unexpected. Nobody knew what was gonna happen. and then you gotta drop it like the following day, dude. You gotta drop it.
I figured they just wanted to go and put it on
Yeah.
Bobby just because it was like it's more of a draw. It's more of a draw.
The right move to do it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
you can go from being the world champion to then all of a sudden now you got a job to a celebrity.
Yeah. I feel like that could have been a triple threat match had they really put more effort into making it Miz versus Drew versus Bobby. That way, then you still have the Hurt Business success, and you don't necessarily have to have Drew take the pin in that match for Bobby to win. He could still hurt lock Miz and like win it, and you can have Miz try all these like dirty tactics into like stealing the win kind of thing. Because obviously he knows I'm no match against Drew McIntyre, I'm no match against Bobby Lashley, so let me steal this win somehow. But then you have you still have Lashley have his moment where he, after 16 years of being in the business, he wins the WWE Championship. I feel like that could have been done, and it would have made a little more sense. But I get it. You got Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. Go and put them together.
Again, the match was incredible. Bad Bunny killed it. Had the best entrance out of everybody.
Oh,
So
it's Bad Bunny. Of course, he's gonna have to have the best one.
again, that's creative, dude. He's using the same concept that he's going to be using for his tour on WrestleMania. The dude was genius. You're going to be seeing promo after promo of just him on that long.
And I'm super excited for that. I'm super stoked for that.
Random. Were you thinking that Stone Cold was driving the truck?
No, I didn't think of that.
Because
I think honestly,
video where it's that same truck, but Stone Cold Steve Austin comes off the back of it.
Yes, but I mean, I wouldn't think of it because it just wouldn't make sense. You get me?
There was a part of me like, is he going to roll down the window? Is it going to be Steve or something? But no. But again, yeah, I would give it 4.5. And then the last match, the match that it stole the night.
I mean,
It stole the night. Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, bro. I'm gonna let you take it first. Tell me what you thought.
I mean, I'm just glad Michael Cole called it. Two black women in the main event of WrestleMania, headlining the first night for the title in front of a live crowd for the first time in over a year. Just it worked so good and it was beautiful. And both of them shined. And like I mean, I don't like that they keep having Sasha Banks lose at Mania. She's like the reverse Undertaker. She's now 0-6 at Mania. But like just it was so beautifully told in this match. Like there is something in this match that we don't get too often anymore, and that's storytelling within a match.
Exactly.
They told that story, and like it was just done so beautifully. 6 out of 5. I don't care. 6 out of 5. That was an amazing match. They both crushed it, and the fans ate it up. I loved it. I thought that was fantastic. So, kudos to Belair, kudos to Sasha. Just if I could tip my hat off from my headset, I would. But just wow, like it was so good. It was so good, and I'm really happy that they gave these two ladies that moment to shine. And what was even more wholesome was the fan video of Sasha like after the match where she was sat up against the barricade and she was just big cheesing over watching Bianca have like her in-ring moment with the title, and just like, oh, like this is why we're all fans. This is why we're all fans in the end. Like it was just terrific overall.
Bro, I just again, I knew it was going to be a big match because Sasha never has a bad match. That girl never has a bad match. She's gotten the best matches out of every single person she's been in the ring with. You can make the argument, if you went in the ring with Sasha, you probably had your best match with Sasha. My only thing was with Bianca Belair, right? Because she was at least still a relatively new name and talented like crazy. That girl is talented like crazy, but I noticed like a couple mistakes here or there in past matches of hers. But here, my God, she is like the combination of like, take the power of a Tamina or Rhea Ripley and then put it into like almost like a cruiserweight body with some of the moves she can do. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like this feels like an experiment done. And
imagine doing all she does with that long extension of her hair. Like that, that will forever blow my mind because you have that extra weight in the back of your head. Like, and she still pulls everything off with such ease. Like, dude, girl, like, how strong are you?
Like, don't ever cut your hair. Like, I see her and I think of, like, Mortal Kombat. Like, she looks like something out of a video game. It doesn't make any sense. And then the whip. I thought that was an effect, like a sound that they made. But when you
the welt on Sasha, oh.
And if you catch the replay, watch the replay again. There's a fan in the middle, like literally going to her friend, like, look at her side. Look at her side. People were shocked. I was shocked.
Because you could hear that whip throughout the entire stadium. That thing echoed, like it went like, oh my God. And then like that made me go like that because I was waiting for them to use it in a spot. Mm-hmm. And just that sound, like, that's a Mania moment. I don't care. That is a WrestleMania moment.
It was. That
was a WrestleMania moment.
Because Sasha flew in between the ropes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clean. That thing was clean.
Well, she's always been great at suicide dives. Always.
Bianca, not just pick her up, lift her up, walk up the steps, dump her like it's nothing. Like it's nothing.
I mean, even that tornado DDT off the ropes that Sasha gave to her was clean. So good. Like, you know, we could probably sit here for another like half an hour just like praising their name and all that they did in that throughout the entire match. Like that was just, it was spectacular. And God, they both deserve that recognition so much. So very much. Just whatever. 6 out of 5 stars.
For me, 5 out of 5, man. That thing was incredible. Now, jumping into night 2, I feel this is a mania of two tales. Because
it was literally like both two sides of the same coin, but just whatever. We'll get into it. Let's go.
All right, so let's again, Randy Orton and The Fiend. This was my match, man. This was my match. This was the one I was looking forward to.
This is the one you're looking forward to most?
Without a doubt, because they had the best build-up. This was built up
for months.
Okay?
For months.
This was like long-term storytelling that you usually don't get. Usually you get like these moments that are all like, all right, 1 or 2 months and you're going to have like a big payoff at the end. This was a long time coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember when Randy burned The Fiend, but it was a long time ago.
It was in December 2020. It was way back then already. It was at TLC.
You get me? And then Alexa Bliss killed it with her character.
Oh, she's a fantastic actress. Fantastic. She's so good at it.
Fiend's mouthpiece throughout all those months, right? Mm-hmm. And you get these little tidbits. He's coming. He's coming back. He's coming back. The intros were great. You have the box. She's winding it up. He pops up. I'm involved. I'm committed. I want to see what's happening next. And then so many things went wrong that I wish they didn't do, like the red lights. Why the red lights, man?
Because, well, I mean, like, that was Fiend's gimmick. Honestly, I forgot that was a thing.
For me,
I forgot that was a thing.
The first time they did it for his debut, I get it, fine. But don't make every single match he has red lights. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you know one of my good buddies, James Perfetto, if you've seen him, Real James, he said it best earlier tonight on Twitter. He was just like this is just distracting. It's just super distracting. Like the red light's just distracting. Like again, like you said, I can understand like the first 2 big matches of the Fiend because you want to instill like that fear of like this is the Fiend, but yeah. Like why bring it back for a match like this that you absolutely need to have your eyes on?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to follow.
And another thing, why not keep him burnt? It's
that part when they revived him, I was like, why do you need to do that?
It was so unnecessary. Like I never, at least for me, I never heard the fans complain like, oh, we don't like the burnt look. The burnt look worked.
Yeah, the burnt look was beautiful. It was such a horror film thing.
It works for this storyline. If you want to change it later, fine. But for this storyline, it works.
Yeah.
So that annoyed me. And then the match lasted like, it wasn't a long match.
It was like 7 minutes, if that.
If that, right? And then Alexa popped up out of the box in black blood. No explanation. No nothing. RKO out of nowhere.
1, 2, 3.
And it's done. Bro, what happened?
I don't know, man. But there needs to be a giant payoff for all that. Because otherwise you just wasted an entire storyline. Well, to me, and I'm pretty sure to you, they've already wasted the storyline.
It's
Like,
like, what are you gonna do after? Like, what gets bigger than Mania? What?
correct. Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do? Backlash? You're gonna have a big reveal or something like that at Backlash?
This doesn't make any sense. And then
Yeah.
is Alexa turning on the Fiend? Like, what?
I mean, like, I mean, if they were gonna go for that, they should have had the match go for a little while longer, and then have, because I thought maybe, just maybe, that when the match ended and they had all the lights turn off, I thought they were gonna have it come back on, and we were gonna see like regular Alexa Bliss, and she was maybe going to attack the Fiend. I feel like that would have made a little sense because she's been under his control for like over a year. So like, at least have that payoff. Like, at least have that payoff.
I would have taken that. But just like, oh, hey, okay, you lost.
Yeah, match is done. Match is done. That's it.
Lights off, everybody go home. Like, basically, that's all it was. This match, honestly, it's not because of the performers. I love the 3 performers. I think the 3 of them are great. This gets like 1.5 stars.
I give it 1. I give it 1.
Like,
I give it 1. And like, and again, like you said, it's not their fault. You know, they're doing the best of what they're given, and we, you know, and like, you can only try so much, you know. But if you're given you're given crap, you can't really mold it into a diamond. It's hard to do that.
So far, day 2 not starting off hot.
Yeah, not starting off well at all.
Then we have the women's tag team championship match. What did you think about it, man?
I personally feel like it went on a little too long.
Yeah.
That's my biggest gripe with it. It went on a little too long. Because there's no storytelling needing to be done. The only story that was there really was, you know, this is Tamina versus Nia Jax. Like, they're friends. They've been friends forever, and they've teamed together. And now we're gonna see them face off against each other. And
even that face was kind of
underwhelming a bit. I mean, and I don't want to say that because, again, like, I want to give the benefit of the doubt to these performers, because you have to respect them for everything they do. Like, it's like they're trying their best, and at the end of the day, that's all we can ask of them, is to try their best. And yeah,
I think it's also acknowledge the reality of it. Like, Tamina has been through a lot of injuries. Like, her body is not the same as when she debuted with the Usos, right?
Remember that back in the day. Remember that. That's a flashback even now.
That was a long time ago, man. And
almost 10 years. Almost 10 years.
I think even more. I think, honestly,
when did the Usos debut? Like 2011, 2012?
I want to say 08 or 09.
No. The Usos? No.
Yeah. I vividly remember their debut.
Let me fact check this. Hold on a second. No, because now I'm curious.
Like in their Samoan outfits, and then you had, you know, Tamina taking that fly off the top rope. That was her big move in the debut. But
right here, I got it. Sorry to cut you off, man. Right here, May 24th, 2010 was when the Usos and Tamina debuted. So it's been over 10 years.
You get me? So I feel for her where it's like, again, she's way better now physically than she was back then.
Well, I mean, she looks great still. She looks fantastic still.
But she looks healthier now than she did like 2 years ago when she kept trying to come back and then injury bug and then come back and then injury bug and come back. And Natalya has always been good.
Yeah, she's always great.
Shayna Baszler is, again, underwhelming. I feel like she's like a Ronda Rousey replacement. At least that's what they're trying to make her out to be.
That's that's the whole curse of, you know, bringing up NXT, which has gold, and you bring him to the main roster. I mean, and this pains me, but like, look at Keith Lee, like, just, man, like he had everything going for him in 2020 in NXT. He had everything going for him, and you bring him to the main roster. And I get that they try to build him up too, and it's like, at the end of the day, man, like you have really no place for him at, you know, in that moment.
Had a great Royal Rumble moment with Brock Lesnar.
With Brock, oh, that was fantastic. No, you know, I just always remember, like, you know, I always remember Brock's reaction. Oh, big boy,
yeah,
big boy. I mean, like, God, I love Brock. Like, I don't care how many times people say, you know, he doesn't deserve this, that he's a part of that. I love Brock Lesnar. I love him.
I low-key miss him.
He would have been great to have come back tonight. In some form or fashion.
It would have been nice.
Like it would have worked out really well if he interfered in the Drew McIntyre Bobby Lashley match and like cost Drew McIntyre the title. That would have been good. Because then it would set them up again for another rivalry match, like a Backlash or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you have him back in contention, and then Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title.
The thing is, you didn't need Brock Lesnar to appear on the next night. You didn't need to.
Yeah.
That could have worked. That actually could have worked out.
Yeah.
But again, for me, man, this tag team match, I'd give it like, just out of respect to the performers, like 2 out of 5.
Yeah, same. Like two and a half. If I'm being nice, just because again, like they really tried a lot, and like you could tell that they tried a lot of spots. Like they really did. Like they tried to do things smoothly and cleanly, but like you could tell there was just a lot of clutter, and like there was just like a not. I don't know if it was like lack of preparation or if maybe they just couldn't pull it off when they thought they could. But again, just again, like out of respect, because they do bust their asses for us, and so I gotta give them props.
Do you want me to give you a quick fact check?
Go for it. Go for it.
The women's tag team match went on for 14 minutes and 20 seconds, right?
How long did Fiend and Randy Orton go?
5 minutes and 50 seconds. Explain to me that. So now we jump into a better part of the show where the show actually picks up almost 20 minutes into the show.
No, yeah, I mean, probably longer than that, honestly. It's probably like 30 minutes in the show if you count all the promos and stuff that they did earlier in the show. I mean, like, I don't think I'll ever get over Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan in pirate suits.
I'm going to bring that up at the tail end because there's something that happened at the tail end that really bothered me.
Oh, I know what you're talking about already.
I'm gonna save that right before we get to the main event. So we have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. This match is a perfect example with Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
This is a perfect example of when you get a celebrity to just be a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
On a
just be there. Yeah, just be there.
And just show that you are who you are. And then having a celebrity like Bad Bunny show up and be like, no, I actually want to get involved and I actually want to do something. What was Logan Paul's purpose in this match? It had zero purpose. Where's the movie? First of all, where's the movie? Where's the conspiracy movie? I don't know if they actually released a trailer to the conspiracy movie because I never.
They did.
I missed that. But then Logan Paul just pops up out of nowhere. You could tell the crowd hated Logan Paul, so I'm glad Kevin Owens.
Well, I mean, deservingly so. I don't know why they would bring him into this equation, considering what happened with him. But that's another story for another day. I don't get why you would bring him in. Of all the people in the world to bring in, you'd bring in Logan Paul.
Whatever. You bring the dude in. Kevin Owens thankfully stuns him. And the match is great. Sami Zayn and Owens have amazing chemistry. They have perfect chemistry. They've worked together for years.
For like almost 20 years they've been working together. Back when he was Kevin Steen versus El Generico, those two always can tear the house down at any time. They can. They know each other that well that they can immediately just vibe together in a match. They could probably not even I can almost probably tell you that match was probably maybe half planned backstage. And they just improvised for a lot of stuff in there. Because it was just so clean.
Mm-hmm. And another thing about the match is those are the two most underutilized guys that they have. Mm-hmm. And then again, they're having great moments in the ring. In the ring, what you see, it's close to a 4. I'd go 3.5 out of 5.
I'd give it a 4 just because of my respect for both of them. The veteran style that they both have, and it's fantastic.
The only reason I wouldn't give it 4 is, number one, the storytelling of it was not superb. There wasn't much of a build-up. I think it was all right, well, Kevin Owens finished up with Roman. We have Sami Zayn doing this conspiracy thing. They're friends. People know that they're friends. Let's just put them into a match and throw a celebrity. And so for that reason, it's the only reason I'm deducting it. But the match itself, there's really no complaints about it. You watch it, it's a great match. But it's, again, there's nothing else. I don't see this spurring off into something else. It's just, this feels like a one-off if there's ever been one. So again, I'd go 3.5. It's a good match. It's at least better than what we've seen so far on the card. Then we jump into
wild.
Exactly, especially compared to night one. And then we get to Sheamus and Riddle. Bro,
match was that was fun.
I don't like Riddle, man. Trust me, I understand that. I've had people tell me, bro, he's like the modern day RVD. I understand the comparison, but they're not the same.
No, they're not.
The cool factor is not the same there. And it's not to say that Riddle isn't cool, in the ring, what he does. He's unique, very unique. But I'll say this: I'm very happy Sheamus won.
Yeah, no, he definitely deserved that. I love that Sheamus is now like a champion holder,
Mhm.
a title holder in WWE again. Like it's just Sheamus is always really great at anything. Like, yeah, you can say some matches have been boring, but I
Mhm.
mean, how often have you seen him like be injured or like do something so crazy that he has to take time off afterwards, something like that? Just he's always very safe in the ring, and he's one of the few guys that like if I was ever like I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a wrestler who's just coming back from like a major injury, and you want to work with someone who's going to be safe. Usually, a guy who you think works safe, Triple H, John Cena, Undertaker. All those guys. They know how to take care of their opponent.
Yeah.
Sheamus is another one. Like I would trust Sheamus big time, just because he always does like the safe stuff, and he still makes it look good. And one thing I will give him props for, because this was his veteran coming out, was that spot when he tried to give Riddle the white noise off the top rope. It wasn't that it was botched, and like because I was watching his feet, because I was like, that's gonna be really tough to pull off because I see what he's doing, but his feet are behind the ropes.
Mhm.
That's something you gotta do when your feet are in front of the ropes, because it's easier to pull. Because the problem is then, like you saw, he had to try to carry him over it, and that's when the botch happened, where he's like, oh shoot, falling down.
Yeah.
But the fact that he landed clean and just said, screw it, dropping him. Like he did that, and then he immediately, he did
Ring post. And
he did an impromptu. Yep.
Yeah.
He did it. That was totally impromptu.
Mhm.
Like he pulled it off and everything, and I will give him so much credit for that, because that is his veteran speaking, and he took care of it, because if that had gone wrong, Riddle could have been seriously injured, big time.
That's actually what I wanted to ask you. Like, was that planned? Did he know he was going to go do that spot? But like, because it didn't look planned, and you could tell he was pissed. He was pissed at himself.
I don't think he was like. I don't think it was a matter of like, because like it probably wasn't planned, or maybe it was like, because the thing is, when you do stuff like that, you have to practice it.
Mm-hmm.
But like before the show goes on, you have to do like your whole what do they call it, rehearsal. And I'm just saying out loud as like a drama guy.
It's late over here on our end. It's 12:20 in the morning right now as we're talking WrestleMania 37. But it definitely looked like something that it was impromptu in the moment, for sure. For what you did. What would you give it, man, out of 5?
I might give it 3.5, 3.5. Just because it wasn't like the wildest of matches, but it was good, and it was a good follow up from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who at that point had the best match of the night so far.
Then after this, we get, oh my god, the Nigerian drum fight, man.
Okay, just let me hop in just real quick before you even get to like rating this thing, because I liked the match. Mm-hmm. Both Big E and Apollo, they both brought it, and like that's undeniable. They both brought it. I thought they did great for that. I love that they both came out just guns flying, and they went. They were super intense throughout the entire match. Mm-hmm. Had great spots, and everything was going so good. And like I was thinking, okay, cool, they're gonna have Biggie retain. That's awesome. He deserves that Mania moment, or maybe they'll have Apollo win somehow. That's even cooler too, because Apollo deserves that moment too. He gets to be a champion, in WrestleMania. Like just either way, I was going to be happy until the end.
It's like you're walking into this thinking like, I'm gonna leave happy regardless, and then WWE still found a way. Like, no, you didn't think about this.
Psych, you thought just oh my god, like you had everything working out for you. And that still happens.
It's just
that didn't need to happen.
But another thing, also, why call it? What's the proper name again? The Nigerian
drum fight, whatever it is. Yeah,
dude, this match was. There was, first of all, we see drums, but was a drum ever really used in the match? Like this was
not that I can recall.
This was just a hardcore match. Just call it a sanctioned match or a hardcore match,
which is always fun. Which those are always fun.
Exactly. I just feel like you called it a Nigerian drum fight because we're pushing
his gimmick. We're pushing his new gimmick,
right? And then to have this guy who, again, he's imposing. We saw it in Raw Underground. Dude's imposing, but the outfit wasn't it. He did not look the part in that outfit. That outfit did not fit him with the hair and everything. Just didn't fit. It came out of nowhere. There was no explanation. It's just an assumption like, oh, well, Apollo's the heel, so obviously he's going to have some He's, AJ has almost, and then clearly we need to give Apollo a new guy, right?
But even then, it's just like I could have understood this move better had it been done in the rematch.
Okay.
Like you can have Apollo win clean because then you're establishing his new dominating character.
Mm-hmm.
It's fresh, and he's I don't like the accent, but that's just a personal gripe on that because it just doesn't fit. You have him speaking
normal,
regular like an American accent for so long, and all of a sudden I find my roots and I'm going to change my accent. It's like it's the reverse Kofi Kingston, and like you could have had him win clean, establish him as a dominating heel,
mm-hmm.
have the rematch at Backlash, or even on a SmackDown, have Big E have the upper hand, kind of thing, where it's like, oh, Big E's gonna win back his title, he's gonna do it. Boom, here comes this guy.
It's like a new wrinkle. It would have been something different to the match, and it would have worked. Like that's something that would happen on a SmackDown. Mm-hmm. That would happen on a SmackDown. For me, I give this 3 out of 5.
Same. I give the actual match like a 3.5. Mm-hmm. Storytelling, I don't know what I would rate it at this point. Like
for me, the full thing, I give it either just like a 3 out of 5. Again, I will say this: the women saved WrestleMania. Women saved WrestleMania.
Oh, are we jumping into this one now? Yeah, we're jumping into this one. Yep.
Bro, for real. Night 1, it was Bianca and Sasha who killed it. Rhea and
Asuka.
Bro, I'm sorry. Like again,
they're great. They were great.
They're
absolutely great.
They're not 2 women superstars that I personally are like high on my list of like my favorites in WWE. Right? Like I have my Sasha, I have my Becky, I have my Charlotte. Those are like my 3. That's my trinity. But these girls are great. You get me? Like Rhea's look is awesome. Like I love her look. She reminds me of bro, who's that girl from Aliens?
Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah. Like she gives me those vibes. Like Sigourney Weaver, like just tall, imposing, strong.
Yeah.
And then you watch the match. The match is just clean. It was
which her name is all in Alien is also Ripley.
Wow. Okay, so I think they probably made that connection. Probably. And I was like, hey, you know what? You look like Ripley. We're gonna call you Ripley.
Yeah.
But again, dude, the match was just stellar. Honestly, for me, the match didn't have a flaw in it.
No, it really did not. Like, and for such a short amount of time that they were given to build up the match.
True.
Like, they literally threw her in because Charlotte couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this worked so much better than, I mean, no disrespect to Charlotte, because she's a fantastic performer too. But I feel like this worked a lot better than what Charlotte would have,
You're building up a star, bro. You're building up a star. Like, Charlotte's already a star. And if anything, this is perfect build-up for, like, Rhea versus Charlotte in NXT, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or if whenever Becky shows up again, a Becky-Rhea match.
Oh, bro. Tear the house. Give me everything.
That's
yes.
That's just
give me everything that they have to offer. Give me everything and more. I want that match. Now that you mention it,
that's pretty. Like for me, that was the first thing that came to mind. Is like at any moment, Becky has to come back, and that setup is right there. So for me, I would give this match 4 out of 5, man. This is the first 4 out of the entire show of night 2.
Yeah,
it's the only 4 I've given. For me, it's the only one that warranted. You would give it the same?
I give it the same. Yeah. 4 out of 5 stars. Just hands down. For the short amount of time they were given to build up this feud, they actually did a really good job at it, and both ladies absolutely just killed it.
And then this is a part of the show that really annoyed me. I have no.
Do we have to talk about it?
Look, bro, I have no issue whatsoever seeing Hulk Hogan in any capacity. I have no problem. You give me. I bought this in 2002 when Hulkamania came back, or 2003 when Hulkamania came back. Show me Hulk Hogan at any time. I'm going to be happy. I love Hulk Hogan. Even with Titus, I don't care.
Yeah.
Show me Hulk Hogan, I'm going to be happy. I was so bothered that it's Bayley, right?
Yeah.
They're popping up as like just a random host or an annoying character. Bayley's another wrestler that deserves to be in WrestleMania.
Used properly, yeah. Like,
why instead of using the tag team turmoil, bro, I would have give me Carmella and Bayley then. Give me that.
Yeah.
I would have killed for that. You get me?
Mm.
But or at least have Carmella be paired with Bayley. At least give her something.
Mm.
But then it's all right. You want to make her annoying, fine. But then you bring out the Bella twins, which look, dude, I understand they're on E or whatever, and they're still part of the women's revolution, but they came in as divas. In my opinion, I still see them in my mind as the diva generation, right? Which is nothing wrong with that, right? But for me, it's a tier below what we have now. And you're going to be the two that are going to get rid of Bayley? Really? Like, I'm supposed to buy into this? And you can hear the crowd boo.
Oh, yeah, no, they booed them. They booed them, and I thought that was both hilarious and a little sad. Like I felt bad for the Bella Twins because they probably didn't want to do this spot or whatever, and they put them in there because, it's all about entertainment. So
I just don't get why. It's just why. Like, you don't need that. You didn't even need that moment with Hogan and Titus and everybody in there again. Just put another 10 promos that you've been doing the whole show and just go into the main event. But no, you have to throw Bayley down the ramp and she's tumbling down, and the boos just get louder and louder. I hated that.
if I was a writer of if I was one of the writers of Mania or one of the creatives or producers, I would have probably, instead of that, I would have used the opportunity to do a pre-match interview with Edge.
Thank you. Then we get the main event, bro. We get Roman with Jey Uso, Paul Heyman versus Edge and Daniel Bryan. Look, man, this match, honestly, I was going to be happy with anybody winning but Daniel Bryan. I was not happy with the inclusion of Daniel Bryan into the match. Not that I have anything against him. Daniel Bryan's great. He's like Cesaro. He's like all these other guys. In the ring, he can do no wrong.
Mm.
You know? But I wanted to see Roman versus Edge.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to see. And I felt the inclusion of making a triple threat was like, whatever. It ended up working out beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, I knew that from the beginning. Like, again, like story-wise, it didn't make full sense.
Mm-hmm. It was forced.
But a little forced. But
reminded me of with Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky.
Yeah.
2 Manias ago or something.
Yeah. I know. I definitely agree with that. It did not need to happen, but it wasn't a ultimately bad decision. Exactly. Because the thing is, then you have that extra layer. Because, like, I'm trying to think as a writer and as a creative, when they do these things. Edge is back, and I mean, clearly he's not going to be like the Edge that we all knew in like 2007, 2008, 2009, 2006, like where he's more capable of handling a lot of stuff. He probably still could handle. He probably could have handled Roman all by himself and everything in terms of like the match quality and like keeping up with Roman. There's no doubt in my mind about that at all. But you have the comfort knowing that Daniel Bryan is there and that he could take some of the load off of Edge, give him time to kind of like get his energy back throughout the match. That way he can keep performing. Because Daniel Bryan's always intense too. Like he's very good at keeping his energy, going up throughout the match. So I feel like that was a good inclusion because you give a little more layer into the story, which also makes sense because, again, Daniel Bryan's the underdog. Everybody always overlooks him, but he's the one that made Roman Reigns, the untappable person, tap out. And it's like he deserves to be in that spot. I just didn't like it was with Edge because I wanted Edge to have his moment. We're going to talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad thing because, like you said, it turned out incredible. Mm-hmm. It turned out incredible, and I was super – like I was invested throughout the entire match.
Same. And
I was invested.
Again, I've been watching wrestling now since I was like maybe 6 years old. I was watching wrestling, and you kind of feel like you've seen everything that there's to be seen.
Because you probably have.
I've never seen what happened in this match, which was that
the double crossface.
I've never seen that in my. It seems so simple, but it was so creative because he's gonna tap, and Daniel's like, no, he's not.
He's gonna tap to me. He's gonna tap to me, not to you.
And then you think about it from like Roman's point of view. It's like, I want to quit, but you don't want to let me quit, and I'm here, and I'm dying, and like I want to get out of this. That
That spot was beautiful. That spot was beautiful, and then also the double spear. Where Roman and Edge had the same mindset, duck underneath the clothesline, go against the ropes, and go for a spear. And they both collided. I thought that was beautiful because it was just like that's what both of them do.
And again, it was exactly what probably last year's WrestleMania probably would have included with Roman and Goldberg. That for sure was like a spot that like, hey, you know, we're gonna take this, put this here. It fits. The only thing that happened in that moment that Michael Cole ruined it for me because he called it before it happened.
Which was what?
The double spear.
Oh, okay.
Like he called it right, but I'm like, don't do it.
I'll be honest, I was so invested in the match, I didn't even listen to commentary. I was so invested in the actual match.
For me, he called it like it was just listen again. He called it like a second before it happened. I'm like, fuck. Yeah. But it was again a great moment. I wanted to ask you this though: if this was planned or this was by accident, when Edge came in with the chair and he was fighting with Roman with
and the thing broke off?
And the thing broke off. Was that planned? Because Edge's reaction when he's like, what do I do with this now? Felt so real, right?
But then that translated so beautifully into the improv, if it was improv, of him using it to use it in the crossface.
So I don't know if we're ever gonna find that out. But for me, I kind of want to say that wasn't planned.
Truthfully, I don't know. I thought the same thing. I thought that was an accident. I thought that was an accident because you had Roman trying to pull the chair away from Edge and just, oh, crap. Okay, what do I do with this now? Oh, shoot, let's get back to it kind of thing. Like
Edge sold that beautifully. Edge sold it like a legitimate surprise. Like, oh, I really wasn't expecting that to happen. I thought if there was going to be anybody that was going to interfere, it was going to either be Heyman or it was going to be Brock Lesnar. I thought it was going to be like some big moment at the end, right? For someone to interfere.
Yeah.
Because I feel that like there's a Lesnar angle there with Roman and Paul just waiting to happen. Like if they don't capitalize on that, I feel it's a missed opportunity. That's just me. I wanted to see Brock Lesnar back. But when Jey Uso came back, a part of me was really annoyed. Because I'm like, can we just get like
a clean finish?
But that's me getting invested into the match. Because I'm like, fuck, I want to see this come to a conclusion, right? But bro, that ending. When Roman takes Daniel, puts him over Edge, or puts Edge over Daniel, and pins
them both.
That's a badass pin.
It annoyed me to the extreme because I was like, because I love heel Roman. I love it. We've all been waiting for this for years. We finally have it. And it's like now you have a legitimate reason to have him win like this at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But at the expense of Edge's return for a championship match, you had the golden moment to send the fans home after a year without live events. You had the chance to send them home super happy. And I feel like they went home happy no matter what. But like, just to hear the 1, 2, 3 and your new Universal champion Edge, like I feel like that would have been just like the cherry on top of the cake. Mm-hmm. That would have been so perfect.
For me, like again, if had that happened, I wouldn't have been mad. Had Edge won, how can you be mad at Edge winning? It's hard to be mad at that, right? But seeing Roman get that like he's even more of a heel now.
Yeah.
You gotta hate him.
Because again, like I get it, and I'm here for it. But like just the Edge fan in me was like just immediately like mad at the decision. And I was just like, oh, but then again, like after like the 5 minutes of me cooling down after that, I was like, okay, you know what? I get it. It makes sense. And you know what? Knowing someone like Edge, I'm sure he was all in for it.
For me, this match, bro, I kind of want to give it like a 5 out of 5.
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Like, they tore that house down.
And lived up to expectations. They did.
And beyond it.
Because again, I didn't expect much with that. Once the inclusion of Daniel, I'm like, all right, so Daniel's getting pinned. But clearly, Daniel's going to be the guinea pig for one or the other.
I figured I was going to be thinking too. I thought they were going to have Daniel Bryan take the pin, so you can keep Roman looking strong.
Yeah, so I'm like, I hate when I see what's going to happen before it happens. It kind of bothers me. I did not see this coming at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. I didn't. and that's it. And and at the end of the day, that's what their job is to make us feel something. Whether it's happy or sad or mad,
Exactly.
their job is to make us feel something, and they did just that. So like you can't be really mad.
And I also had to give a big shout out to Paul Heyman during that whole intro, like of Roman coming in. Just watch it again and look at his face. He's either like in love with Roman, right? Just in pure adulation of Roman. And then he just has the scummiest of look when he looks into the ring. That dude is, for me, the best manager.
Ever. He is the best manager anyone will ever have.
It's just, oh my God, it's like chef's kiss. Like it's just perfect every time.
Yeah. So I'm definitely with you on that.
So ultimately, man, when you take day 1 and day 2 as a whole, WrestleMania 37, do you want to do this a ranking out of 10? Like 1 out of 10, or should we stick 1 to 5?
I say 1. I say stick 1 to 5.
All right.
It's as in, and if it was just one big card, one giant thing.
Or do you want to divide it up, bro? Do you want to divide it up?
The thing is, I don't know, because it's unfair to divide it up, because the thing is, like, we both already know the answer to if we divide it up.
Mm-hmm.
We both already know that night 1 was vastly better than night 2. Like we both know that, and like I think that would be almost like universally acclaimed or universally agreed upon.
Yeah.
That night 1 was just vastly better than night 2.
And it wouldn't be fair to the other Manias.
Correct. Yeah. So combining them. Man, it's tough because I want to give it a 4 because it was because overall, like you can't deny it. Overall, it was a good Mania.
It was.
Overall, it was a great Mania. Like this wasn't like WrestleMania 27 or like Mania 31 or something like that. Like this had backbone and it had commitment, and they had a whole bunch of trials and tribulations to go through with all the weather and everything that they were going through and trying to make sure everything was safe.
It added to it. To be honest, like night 1 with the rain, I'm like, it has to happen like this. There has to be a little bit more drama. It can't go smoothly. There has to be some hiccup. There has to be.
Yep. That one last obstacle to overcome.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Like I want to give it 4 just because they put so much effort into this, and it was so nice to have like a regular WrestleMania again.
If it makes you feel, I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Screw it. Because you're doing it too. Yeah. A 4. Like
solely for the reason that I can. For me, like my rule of thumb is: can you give me 3 great matches? Can you give me 3 matches where at the end of the day I can be like, all right, I had 3 top matches, right?
Yeah.
I was fortunate. Have you ever been to a Mania before?
I've been to 3.
You've
been to 3 Manias.
I'm jealous. I've only been
24, 28, 33.
I've only been to 28, right? 28 was an amazing.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. That end of an era match, Undertaker and Triple H. I feel like that should have been when Undertaker retired. That was the perfect high note to end on. But I know WWE was like, we need you back.
It should have ended that way, especially like all the way up the ramp. They're looking at the fans, just one goodbye.
That's it. It would have been perfect.
At that Mania, like that Mania is one of my favorites. I still put 18 up there. Like
really, 18?
18. Wasn't 18 with The Rock and Hogan?
Yeah.
That's
your favorite Mania?
That's first of all my favorite WrestleMania moment ever is that moment between Rock and Hulk. I'll never forget that moment. There's an underrated match on that card between Diamond Dallas Page and
Chris, yeah.
Which is still, I am a big Diamond Dallas Page, and that's his only Mania ever. That's his only Mania that he's ever had, man. So that holds close.
That's right, sucker.
And then, bro, people hate this match. I actually like this match a lot. Scott Hall versus Stone Cold.
Stone Cold?
It was the best sell of a stunner that's not The Rock. The way Scott Hall sold that stunner, you can't tell me that was not just A1.
It was, but the thing is, you could tell it was, I don't want to say a pity sell, because remember, he gave him a stunner the first time around before that even happened. And he just kind of like stood up. He didn't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think Austin's went on record before and said like that ticked him off because he didn't sell the stunner.
That I didn't.
So then he did. So then he did it again. That's when Scott Hall was like, "I'm going to oversell it."
Oh damn, dude! Now if that's true, that just ruined that. That just ruined it.
I'm sorry.
First of all, before I let you go, is there any place that you want the people to follow you to see more of your stuff? Because I know you also do a lot of unveilings. You did an unveiling today of an NXT Championship belt.
Secret, man. I'm trying to keep it like a whole surprise thing. That's the whole point of the thumbnail.
Well, the good thing is that you have countless other ones. Trust me, there's countless other belts that you can unveil.
Thanks, man.
Where can people find you, man?
Well, firstly, before I even do that, I always like to give props to the hosts always, or the guests if I'm hosting. So I will tell the people to follow your pages. Go find him at Anthony Guivas on Instagram. I'm sure it's the same thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
I actually don't have you on Twitter. I need to add you on Twitter. So we're going to add you on Twitter, and then also check out the YouTube channel for Anthony Guivas, and hopefully you guys enjoy this enough to want to subscribe to his channel. He's, definitely terrific man and very honest guy, which is one thing that I appreciate in a lot of people nowadays is the honesty. So definitely appreciate that. So,
but now hype yourself up, bro. Where can we find you, bro?
You know me, man. I'm a very humble man. I don't like to pop myself up too much. But anyway, so if you guys do want to check me out, go and find me on YouTube. It's just Chris Santiago, or if you want, when you type in on the search bar, you type in youtube.com/C/Chris Santiago Productions. Just go ahead and check it out there. Click that subscribe button. We're on the goal now to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. We hit our goal a few weeks ago of hitting 500 subscribers. That's awesome. So thank you guys for getting me there. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Chris Sant 1104. Chris Sant, CHRISSANT 1104. You want to follow me on there, and just hope you guys enjoy the ride. I'm just a belt mark wrestling fan who just likes to create videos. It's my passion. It's my career, and I just like giving people entertainment as much as I possibly can.
Question: how many belts do you have?
In my own personal collection?
Yeah.
6.
6 belts? I feel like you have like 20 belts.
Everyone feels that way, but I've had this discussion before on the Wrestling Paradox podcast. Give them a follow too, guys. I did an interview with them a couple months ago, and they asked me like what my goal is for like belt collecting, and it's like I don't want to have like a whole wall of like 40 belts. Like, I don't want that. I don't. That's not saying that it's a bad thing. I see a lot of people with that do have it, and it looks fantastic. But for myself, I just want the ones that mean the most to me. Mm-hmm. Like I want the titles that I have like a memory associated with, and I explained that in my video of my Raw Tag Team Championship, where I explained where myself and my friend Jimmy, when we were at WrestleMania 33, we watched the Hardy Boys come back and they won the Raw Tag Team titles, and that moment was a memory for me forever. So I had to get that belt. So that's just that.
Which was your favorite?
My favorite belt of all time?
Yeah,
it's always a tie between the WWE Undisputed Championship.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That thing is gorgeous.
Okay.
Absolutely just gorgeous. That one, and I don't know if you know it or if you're still watching at this time, the 2007 Midwest TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
Bro, you got me there. I have no idea what that belt looks like.
Belt marks, alongside me will know how beautiful that title is.
Wow.
To me, that is that should be the standard for what a world championship looks like. Aside from obviously like the World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold, or the undisputed title, like just that one, the 2007 Midwest, just look it up. And you'll see, AJ Styles has had it, Samoa Joe's had it, Kurt Angle's had it, Sting's had it.
You just had to say AJ Styles for me to understand why you would want this title in your life. I understand now. Well, again, brother, thank you so much. Thank you for staying up late, man. It's 1:01 in the morning. Again, thank you, dude. Talking WrestleMania 37.
This is fun, man. Thank you for having me on, man. This is so much fun.